Persuasive Speech Part 1.
Speech boot camp is going to be a persuasive speech. And I would, before we get into the model and show you how to structure it, like to differentiate between three things that are sometimes confused as persuasive speaking, and clarify that a little bit. One of those would be motivational speaking. For example, if I were to give a pro-life speech in a pro-life rally, that would not really be persuasive speaking, would it? Because I'd be talking to people who pretty much already agree with what I'm saying. I would be perhaps trying to motivate them and try to bring more information to get them more excited, which could be motivational. It could be persuading them into action, but it wouldn't be persuasive in that it would be trying to change their opinion. Do you see? Another type of speaking or writing that is sometimes confused with persuasive would be argumentative. Argumentative speaking is when you are trying to argue for a particular position. Generally, people always know that you are arguing for or against a particular position, and that's what they are expecting. Sometimes essays, for example, if you take the SAT essay, they generally, at least at the moment, want you to write an argumentative essay where you have a position and then you try to argue for that position, defend that position, give evidence as to why you are right. If you go into the world of debate, you are clearly moving into the world of argumentative speaking where it is clear right up front. Here's the pro team, here's the con team. We expect these guys to be strongly for, we expect these guys to be strongly against, and so we're hoping to hear a good argument. Again, this is not quite persuasive speaking in the sense of what we will talk about, and you'll see why very soon. The persuasive speech that we're looking for is something that would have the potential to change someone's opinion about something. For example, my good friend Connor there is of the opinion that donuts are a good food. I would love to persuade him that donuts are toxic things which no one should ever eat. Cooper. I would like to persuade him to change his mind about donuts and be so persuaded that he would swear off donuts forever. Impossible, he says. So that would be a difficult task for me. But it would be a case where I'm attempting to change his mind about something the way it is. And that would be the true persuasive type of speaking that we would be looking to accomplish in this next speech. So to make those clear, motivation is when you're kind of preaching to the choir, right? Everybody pretty much believes the way you do. You're just trying to get them excited, motivated, persuaded to go out and do more for that important cause. Argumentative tends to be very formal, it's predictable, and it doesn't happen too often in the real world, although sometimes you'll see things on debate or on television like a presidential debate where there's a question and you pretty much expect one person to take one side, one person to take the other. Persuasive writing and speaking, however, has to be more strategic, and you'll see why. So, you might like to jot down. We're going to go ahead and pencil out the persuasive model. Again, we're looking at the basic 5-part pattern here. There are some other ways to go about doing this, but we're going to stick with the 3 topics. Again, the first section would be your introduction. You would then have a body of 3 topics, and then your last section would be the conclusion. Certain things are the same. For example, in the introduction, even in a persuasive speech, you'd want to do first. What first? You'd want to catch what? Catch the reader's eye, catch their imagination, catch their attention, catch their ear, anything that would immediately cause them to focus in on what you're going to be doing. We heard some good ones in our group. Perhaps some of you could share some of the ways that you heard in the speeches today that the speaker caught your attention? Did anyone hear some good ones? Or do some good ones themselves? Do you recall? Think back to today's speeches. Which ones caught your attention? Michaela.
Gianna's about her little brother.
Gianna's about her little brother. Caught her attention. Okay. I remember Stevie did kind of a baseball whack and a faux radio announcer voice. Very nice little dramatic opening there. You were going to say, yeah, Jeff? Anybody else? Something that grabbed your attention right off? Daniel asked a funny question in his speech. He said, everyone has one. Help me a little bit here.
They can either be dark or light, tall or short, or fat or skinny.
Everyone has one. They can either be dark or light, tall or short, fat or skinny. And so it's a bit of a riddle there, isn't it? Get you thinking, now what would everybody have that could be any of those things? And then, of course, he said, a father. Which, immediately, as a father, I'm trying to think, am I fat or skinny? How would I fall into that equation? But these attention-getting devices that we discussed before, equally as important in a persuasive speaking. Now, in the next part of the introduction, we do give the background info and introduce the issue, if you will, but it's very important that we don't give away our position right up front. For example, if I start my speech and I say, donuts are poison from the pit of hell. Who's going to listen to my speech? The people who agree with me. Who's going to walk out of the room and say, what an idiot? Yeah. The very person I'm trying to persuade. This is why in a persuasive speech or a persuasive essay, you don't give away your position. Instead, you ask the question. You make the question clear. And you say, recently there has been discussion in the world of young and old alike about the nutritional benefits or potential harm of donuts. What is the truth? Now, who's going to listen to the speech? Everyone who's curious to know, is this speaker smart like me or stupid like everybody else? Because we're all kind of curious, right? Do they agree with me? It's human nature. So you want to make the question clear. Then, of course, similar to the previous model, you want to introduce or state or allude to or hint at the three topics which you're going to cover. And so you will then have three aspects of something. So, topic A, topic B, topic C, and we'll save the conclusion there for a little bit later. Now, here's the interesting thing about persuasive speaking and persuasive writing. You want to draw people in to listening to your presentation, to reading what you've written, to hearing, giving respect to the idea, even though they may not ultimately agree with you. If you can't get them to listen to you, then you've got no chance to persuade, right? If Cooper just marches out of the room and says, what an idiot, my chance of persuading him to give up donuts is very minimal, agreed? So I've got to somehow keep him in the room listening. So, here's the strategy for a persuasive presentation. You choose for your first topic an idea or a set of facts, an aspect of the thing which may not actually support your ultimate position on the thing. Something that may be just a little bit con to your pro. In this case, we might use the argument that donuts give you a certain emotional benefit, right? You feel a little happier after eating donuts. Agreed? I think we could all agree that, that sweet comfort food can give you a little bit of peace and a little bit of happiness, a little bit of joy. And peace, happiness, and joy are always valuable in life, right? But we want to put in a little sliver of doubt, right? And so we might say something like, however, do peace and joy and comfort from food such as donuts have benefits which outweigh potential harms? Ah, now what's happening? Nobody knows. Cooper's thinking, sounds like he's probably on my side, but maybe not. And Lisa's thinking, sounds like he might not agree with me, but maybe he does. Then, what would you be forced to do? Stay and listen, because you're still curious. Is this guy smart like me or stupid like everybody else? Right? So,